This audiobook is St. Wally. It was written by Courtney Taylor, first published by C. Taylor Books in 2014, and it's narrated by Courtney Taylor. St. Wally by Courtney Taylor, Chapter 1. The next thing Walter knew, he was naked and standing inside a gargantuan cathedral formed by brushed steel columns at least 1 kilometre in height, stained glass windows bigger than believable, and a gigantic Art Deco wall looming directly ahead, which depicted rolling green pastures and heavenly white clouds. He couldn't remember how he'd come to be in this predicament, but dimly recalled that moments ago, or years ago it felt like, he'd been travelling down a dark tunnel toward a growing white light. To his left and right were thousands, no, millions of individuals, all of them naked, and lined up in queues stretching so far backward that Walter couldn't see to the ends of them. It seemed that he too was standing in one of these queues, in front of a Neanderthal-looking creature that appeared to be sleeping, even though it was standing up straight and had its eyes open. In fact, thought Walter, as he looked around attentively, it seemed that everybody was standing up straight and sleeping with their eyes open. The only exceptions were the people at the very fronts of the lines, although they couldn't all be called people. They seemed to be all manner of human, humanoid, and outrageous-looking creature, some of which were far beyond Walter's capacity to even conceptualise. As their lines each moved forward, one unified stomp at a time, their millions of feet, hooves, pads, digits, suction cups, biotic shock absorbers, and who knows what else, came thundering down onto polished concrete. Walter, instinctively covering his manhood, gradually noticed that each advance of a line was preceded by a voice, never the same, calling out, "Next!" It was something of a surprise to learn that St. Peter existed in the plural. There must have been thousands of them, each sitting behind a simple wooden desk and reading from a hefty book laid flat. Lined up side by side, they had long white beards, baggy grey robes, and were reaching into crystal chalices and removing something white and glowing. Walter could see that, whatever the substance was, the St. Peters were pressing it against the foreheads of the life forms that approached them. This was obviously some kind of ceremony.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?